Welcome back. Maybe new rules. Alright, today we're going to do a pyramid block build. I'm going to build one block. I'll show you part of the recipe. You want the complete recipe, go get it. Real simple. Here is a pyramid. Here we can clearly see a lot of acid etching all over the blocks. Here is from the Discovery Channel, was a native willing to show the process, and this is one of those UFO channels, but he told the native that if he told the secret, what else was he going to talk about on the show? So I did a screen grab, and this is what was in the background of a native willing to tell him that acid mud was used to burn this block, and you can clearly see here mud has been applied. It is in the intermediate stages where they have completed the front, they're working to the back, and they're building this little knob, so to speak, coming out of the center because they want to keep the integral strength, and this will become a little nub in the middle down the road to make a really, really good seal. The reason I got this picture up is don't forget a lot of them were rebuilt and new kings came in, redid, remodel, etc., etc. Wanted to show you this. For those of you on the phone, I went out of my way on this one. I would appreciate it if somebody could comment that you can see the pictures or not. This is built into a complete solid rock, and there's a walkway in between here. Walkway you can go all around, and a door made in the front, made with the exact same chemical recipe. I didn't show a picture in here of there's also caves all over the place. Grand Canyon is a really great place for that. Now, here is a really good picture because it shows some of the imperfections. Down here, and imperfections means they haven't finished this. And what they are doing, I'll show you the entire process. Down here on the bottom, they have to leave a little bit extra, otherwise it's going to squish the bottom panel. The bottom meaning this row down here. And as you can see here, there's little nubs clearly sticking out. This is part of the recipe that's still hot for when they apply more onto it, as well as it supports the column above it up until the point that it dries. So, pyramids built all over the planet, same exact chemical recipe with one variance, depending on what ingredients were available in that location. So there's more than one recipe. This is the money shot, so I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit. Here you can see that the wall is flush. The joints have not been finished because they look a little bit cleaner, and they can go through with the hot mud and a knife and clean these edges up. But as you can see here, all these rocks are protruding because of the weight on top of them. They're settling. As you can see here, this is where they stopped, this row, as they were swiping over with the mud, and they were scooping it. And you can clearly see they were wiping mud off of limestone rock. Down here is the support structure. Once again, that's going to keep this heavy piece from sliding down and falling off. You get your hot mud packs for continuing on the cycle, and you can clearly see, folks, clearly, these blocks are not finished, these are finished, and they were sweeping across. The only way to do this is by making this mud. Now, show you some more pictures. Nope, we go to words. Stuff that YouTubers don't like. So, let's go over here. I'm going to do it out of order a little bit, but I'm going to give you all some pieces. All the mortar that was used in between the joints is not equal due to limitations of what materials were available. However, the reason that most of these tombs got robbed was due to molten gold, lead, and other things. Lead, silver, and gold was the main ingredient, we came to find out. And fool's gold was also used in some of them. But when you found the real gold, you knew behind that wall was the King's Pyramid because that was a common thing to use. Now, let's see. Molten gold was found instead of mortar, instead of certain areas of the royal palace. Some places were molten lead, silver, and gold in for the mortar. Now, here you can clearly see the blocks. Now, these have been removed from a pyramid that were built to see the depressions that were left underneath. You can clearly see that this rock, if you want to call it liquefied, I call it the silica components were broken down. The compression no longer matters. Once the silica turns back against becoming a glue, this is what you get. You can clearly see depressions as it sat down here. You can also see the finer edges, so there's a process to it. Quite a beautiful, complex process. Now, once again, you can clearly see acid etching. You can clearly see the nubs that were used down here as the strength so that it didn't blow this joint down here. Same thing here. It's also got the secret ingredients for the next time you throw the mud onto this so that it color matches. Don't painters do that? What do you know? So, if they ran out of some other materials and they needed to do a little swipey job here, like something broke, they would have a little bit for repairs. Here you can clearly see where it's broken away, a block was taken out. You can clearly see how perfect it is within. Now, the original question on here, this study tries to understand them, and the question was asked, did Inca builders have access to very acidic mud? They did. It's in their minds. What were they going for? It's a really big surprise, Cinnabon, because to them, one of the most biggest blessings from the gods would have been the ability to write with that beautiful red ink, the acquisition of liquid mercury, and they were in heaven. Liquid mercury is used, folks, to protect you from the benevolent spirits from the underworld when you sleep at night. For all the people that are out there saying all this UFO crap, it's really simple. Ask a native and they'll tell you. By the way, if you go to Mexico, they turn one rock sideways that they sell you, and they say, you want a UFO, or do you want to turn it right side up and do the correct, which is the god of wheat. So this, where I'm talking about, is factual stuff. What you're talking about is UFO crap. So, due to their mining activities of sulfide minerals, Inca miners knew acid mud since they were regularly confronted with it and saw its effect on stones and structural installations in the mines. What does that mean? It means that as they went along and they ran out of resources, they had other resources. In other words, there's more than one way to do this. Now, let's get into some pseudoscience here. Next one. I want to go back to a picture, but I probably I'll go back here in a second. The appearance of shiny and glassy Inca stone junctions and interfaces is explained via solidification and insight generated by the additionally added silica gel. Modern processes for conservation of stone monuments against environmental deterioration have independently developed similar silica gel-based technology. In other words, waterproofing for concrete. That's about the best we got. We got high tensile strength concrete that we build, and a few companies have some special formulas that have some additional stuff in there that they sell at a really expensive cost and don't give away the recipe. So, silica, that's the glue, that's the shine. Now, here's something that's interesting. Explorer Percy H. Fawcett and Hiram Bingham, the rediscoverer of Machu Picchu, learned from and reported the strange story of the Andean woodpecker and his rock softening plant. What does the plant do? The plant adds a bacteria to the mix, which supercharges the acidity in it. You did see those acidic burns, didn't you? Now, is there more than one way to do it? You bet. We'll get there. Now, I got the same thing here. This is going to give you an example of utilizing different resources. The silica gel here, and this would go with like Mayan cultures, different location. They pounded finely ground volcanic rock with acidic pyrite mud. This resulting gel was distributed onto or between the limestone interfaces for the precipitation and hardening compared to blah blah blah. So what does this crap mean? They invented a hardening shell for the exterior of the pyramids that not only waterproofed it but made it chip resistant. This is some technology that is unbelievable. And if you look that they're still standing in the condition that they're in compared to any concrete that we have, there's no comparison. Extremely, extremely impressive natives. So, also, Inca stonemasons occasionally applied silica gel prepared separately, probably from finely ground volcanic or magmatic rocks treated with the acid. What were they doing? They were resealing the pyramids. Isn't that amazing? No one's been taking care of them for a long time. Instead, they just rob the graves and take their shots at whether or not there's a curse. Good luck to you on that curse. Now, this has already been done. Coral Castle, Florida. Guy from Europe, 4th grade education, masonry. He did basic construction, masonry, his father taught him. Came from Europe, moved to New York, couldn't stand it, moved to Oregon next to a reservation, learned about the woodpecker story, got the plant, made it way in the heck too hot, but he kept his promise. He never gave away the recipe, just as I will not. He made Coral Park, and he had a hot, hot recipe. Let's take a peek at it. You can clearly see he didn't have the joints or the silica. He merely had the plant to burn the mud and clear it off. But nonetheless, very beautiful. And with a 4th grade education, it is quite impressive. Extremely impressive. And he built it for the people, which was a promise that he kept to the natives in return for what he did. And it's quite impressive. What's funny is the Discovery Channel and all these other places never talk about it's already been duplicated by a guy from Europe with a 4th grade education. I'm not being disrespectful, natives. Don't worry, I'm going there. You can see here he was able to curve some of his rocks. See if I can find his lawn furniture collection. Quite impressive, actually. I think this is one of the pieces, but some of them he actually curved the rocks because the recipe was so hot. And I think it's a neat little thing. And ironically, this park will probably last a lot longer than any of the construction builds modern technology uses. For all the scientists out there, beautiful pictures of some cinnabar, in case you've never seen it. And very interesting, I asked how many people were known to have psoriasis, have perished, or have gotten sick, because if you've ever worked with liquid mercury, as scientists, you all know this. It causes psoriasis. When it goes vapor, it can kill you. And if you consume it, you're pretty screwed as well because it screws with your DNA. But when you use it for a telescope system, it reduces the haze that you see when you look at the moon. It's gone. What do you know? And it's at the bottom of a pyramid. And then there's United States telescope observatories that are utilizing the same feature, yet not disclosing why they're utilizing it completely. Very interesting. Wonder if there's a little more to these pyramids. Now, you all want to know what's missing? The pseudoscience. And I'm going to give you guys this PDF because I realize on YouTube everyone's a thief and they're going to say, ooh, I had an idea. There's a reason. There's a lot of wrong stuff in here, folks. You will not have the recipe. Now, here's what's interesting. I'm going to give you parts of it so you see how far off you are. This goes out to the natives. I'm not giving it away, folks. I kept my promise to 2 advanced natives to train me. I get to make this look beautiful. Let's show you, instead of showing you words, show you the beauty. Because right here is the whole story of how you build the pyramids utilizing a simple plant. Simple plan. And it seems to me that there's more than one construction material of stone that was used that this procedure works on. Very, very interesting. Built to last. And I'll tell you about a little discovery while I'm showing this beauty. This one goes out to the natives. I met some people in South America that only speak dialect. They do not speak dialect. And we were communicating quite fast because we were excited to see each other. We don't get to do it too often. And I asked them about this recipe and told them how far I had come. And I didn't walk up to them as strangers, just so you know, and go, tell me spirituality in 3 sentences and I'll give you the attention span of a hummingbird. That's you, not me. I made friends, showed them my gifts, showed them I was peaceful, attained that I was a good trader, and somebody in this group, this young little 12-year-old boy, had a different color pattern on his forehead, and I asked to see him and introduce himself to me. The colors on his forehead are the recipe that you're missing. You'll notice that natives use these colors all over the place. I never could figure them out. Natives, I'm not giving it all away. It's a recipe. See these colors? That's the recipe to remind everybody whether it was hot, cold, the mixture. And let's see, what will we cook? Let's make a pizza. So we put a pizza in the oven. The cheese is yellow on top. So we used the color band yellow. It came out of the freezer. A little Totino's cheapy dollar pizza. When you're done with it, in the middle, it's going to turn brown on the top. And that would be perfect. So we use a color. I don't know how you like your pizza. I like a little burnt on the edges. But let's say it's a color like this. So we use this color swipe as our next color swipe. What does that represent out of a color? Natives already knew all the ingredients. They lived there. My Lord, are you kidding me? They saw people doing this on a regular basis. So what would have been missing to pass on to future generations? It's not the complete recipe. It's the cooking temperatures. What happens, what's the catalyst and the end result in the color when you mix it right? And you have the correct ingredients. So he had 4 colors on his forehead. I picked 3 of them off, and he laughed. Little shit. It's all right, we're good buddies. He's a lot better than me, though. I got 3 out of the 4 colors because the 4th one, I used my gift and I tried to go expand it instead of going down to the root. If you want to know what these pyramids represent, it's very simple. They took the most complex of chemical recipes that scientists cannot even duplicate to this day, took it to the moon, meaning let's picture it's a tree. Every little branch would be all the different little chemical conversions, all the different ingredients that could have been substituted, and then you take it all the way back down to the basics, the basic bottom root level of those colors. That is incredible. Talk about some scientific advances. So to say that they were technological geniuses would be a mild understatement. And don't forget, folks, they were messing around with things that could not be melted at those time frames of way above aluminum. I'll let you look them up on your own. And liquid mercury is also used as part of this. So you're missing some certain little ingredients that may have some catalysts here because you didn't use pseudoscientist. And the next time somebody from MUFON calls me a pseudoscientist, I'm going to do more than build a pyramid block. And I'm going to use pseudoscience because pseudoscience beats your science to death because you've never heard of colors to cook until I introduced them to you from the natives that was given to them from the gods that came from God himself. So, what does that mean? It means if you're going to weigh your heart versus a feather, you're a sinner talking about aliens made this. They were given the recipe, the natives, the entire tree, all the way how to expand it to the moon, bring it all the way back down to the core root, and utilizing this over here. Mother Earth, they can still do more than most scientists can on this planet. Except for my team of 20 scientists plus me. We can do a lot more than you know. Now, who has the recipe? All 20 scientists, because I worked with them. We're transparent, unlike most people on this planet. We trade all the data with each other, and we've kind of made a pledge to each other that once you guys do a thermonuclear war and make a, what is it, beautiful winter, we're going to go back and fix it, do the repairs. So, interesting stuff coming. Now, the joints here give you another little piece of info that you never ever would have thought of. Since these natives never got psoriasis, never died of mercury poisoning, when they did the cinnabar process, they used that mud to recycle. Don't forget the natives never missed anything. That would have put a lot of chemicals from the distillation process of the cinnabar back into the mud. I wonder where they put that. Huh. Anyway, next episode, I'm going to tell you how come people are still starving on this planet. And when you donate money to these organizations, or you get a T-shirt, and you got to go take a selfie and tell everyone you voted and you're special, why it doesn't get to the people they starve staring at the sky, starving Nubian children, staring at the sky, the moon, the stars, praying to die, never even getting a chance. So that's the next episode. Thanks for watching. New game, new rules. Till next time.